Hello, my friends. So today I have something a little different for you. This isn't really a guide, but sort of just a few loadouts. If you're a newer player to the game, if you want to try out the airstrike that I think go well with it, or maybe you just haven't really tried the airstrike before. I have a decent amount of time sunk into this weapon because I enjoy sort of the extra movement it can give you, and it also sort of acts as a good, I guess, training rocket launcher because it does less damage, but it doesn't change the sort of the projectile speed of the rockets at all. So it's a good way to practice directs in pubs because it takes more rockets to kill people. Anyways, the first loadout is what I would call probably just an aggressive style, or I have Madman style in my notes, but basically it's a more aggressive loadout. So the loadout, or yeah, so the first loadout is airstrike, gunboats, and the market gardener. The airstrike allows you to sort of perform a very unique style of rocket jumping because it has a you take 15% less damage from rocket jumps, which I think it makes it. Is it the second lowest? Yeah, you take slightly more than from the Liberty launcher, so it's the second lowest amount of damage you could take. Anyways, this loadout lets you sort of play super aggressively and try to take full advantage of that that reduced rocket jump penalty by combining it with the gunboats. And I think generally you only take like 15 damage from rocket jumps, so you can do some pretty crazy things. I think you can survive if you wanted to. For some reason, you could survive in like an 8 rocket combo jump. I'm not sure if you could do that with stock, but it's plausible with the airstrike. It is also sort of a fun way to, I guess, I don't know, it's a very unique way if you wanted to do like market gardener only. Anyways, this is probably my most used loadout just because I really love the sort of just the speed it gives you. I'm sort of got ADHD when it comes to tf2. But yeah, that's the aggressive loadout. And then at sort of the end of each of these sections, I'll list an some alternatives you could do. Another aggressive loadout you could do would be the sort of same thing, but you could substitute the gunboats for the base jumper, which I know is also a very popular loadout. This sort of lets you, I want to say it, I don't know, it kind of helps you guarantee more kills. That might not be correct, but sort of if you want to spam to try to build up the airstrike, it lets you do that sort of more consistently, like spam from afar. It also, it used to be really helpful with the market gardener. You could guarantee certain kills that were kind of impossible without the base jumper. It sort of got got rid of a sort of degree of inconsistency that comes with rocket jumping, but they did nerf it in 2017, so now it can't reclose and enter. Sorry, you can't open and close it multiple times in the air. So I haven't really tried it since then, but it is a loadout you could try to use. A word of caution with this alternative is I wouldn't use this if you're newer to the game, just because the base jumper can kind of become a crutch if you're not that good at rocket jumping. Another alternative you could do for the melee slot is, instead of the market gardener, you could use the escape plan. I think this is generally considered one of probably the top 2, probably top 2 soldier melees. I guess maybe the whip's better, but this is good if you're not really gonna go for market gardeners and you just sort of want a melee that's like a utility. This helps you get out of situations you might not otherwise when you're at low health. Lets you just run away. I don't really use this, but I think sort of escape plan gunboats stock is like the most popular rover loadout, or it was. Now more people use the market gardeners, but yeah. Anyways, that's the aggressive playstyle. So next is the defensive loadout, which is, as the name suggests, a loadout to play on, I guess, defense, or if you want to play a bit more passively, and sort of not go, I don't know, just, play more defensively, basically. Sort of try to build up kill streaks more, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I have airstreak. I have the for defensive loadouts we have the airstrike, sort of the banner of your choice. I have buff banner because I think it goes really well with the airstrike because you can pop those mini crits, and then if you have a full clip of airstrike ammo, you can launch 8 mini crit rockets, which does a shit ton of damage. And then the whip, which is one of the better, probably the third best melee, but it's the best kind of support melee for soldier. It lets you help. It can help you get to the front faster if you don't want to rocket jump, which you don't want to do as much with this loadout because you don't have gunboats, but you can still rocket jump a fair amount because you do have that sort of innate minus 15 blast damage buff. But also it helps you get like other slower classes to the front, namely heavies or I guess pyros, because that like he's 100% movement speed. But I don't know. They're kind of given everyone but sniper a movement buff recently. For alternatives for the secondary slot, I would mainly stick to the other banners. My particular favorite is the conch because it gives you a passive regen buff. So if there are no medics on the team, this kind of ups your survivability a little bit. But you could also use the battalion's backup, which is arguably the strongest banner because it just makes you immune to crits. But yeah, I don't know. Sort of just use the banner of your choice, and sort of all the banners combo well with the airstrike because they both items benefit from playing a bit more passively and trying to build up more damage and kills without dying. And they sort of make you stronger over time. For alternatives for the melee slot, it sort of depends on what mode you are playing, but a few suggestions could be the Pain Train if you're in a capping mode, so like Payload, King of the Hill, those kinds. This lets you cap faster, and the only downside is you take slightly more bullet vulnerability. I almost see no one use this weapon, and I don't know why, because it makes you a little weaker to scouts, but it doesn't put you like above the 1-hit threshold, so it's not that bad. It really only makes you bad. It's sort of worse against heavies, and yeah, even against sniper, it doesn't put you sort of above that 1-shot threshold. So I don't know, but that's a pretty good sort of support secondary if you don't want to use the whip, but you need it to, or yeah, it's only really useful for capping. Another alternative you could use is the Half-Zoi Tiichi. I think this sort of combo it might come. I'm not really sure. This could combo pretty well with the conch, just because they both give you healing. So you have the conch and you sort of take this thing out. If you get a kill, you get a bunch more health, so I don't know. So anyways, that's sort of everything I have to say on the defensive loadout. Now we'll move on to the last loadout for this video. The last loadout is what could be called DM soldier, basically. So it's the airstrike, the shotgun, and the escape plan. I like to call this fully loaded soldier because I believe this loadout has the ability to get like the most possible ammo soldier can have at once. So you could have the airstrike with 8 rockets, and then also a shotgun with 6 pellets in it. So potentially you can have more sort of stuff loaded than even a demo man, which is kind of crazy. This loadout is more focused on sort of your ability to hit things. And I guess it can kind of be useful for helping you practice DM if you want to. It's also a pretty good loadout if you know you'll have a pocket medic, because you really don't have to worry about healing then, and you can guarantee you'll have more ammo. Although I don't know if you're sort of playing the pocket roll. I'm not sure if the airstrike is necessarily the best rocket launcher, but for alternatives to this loadout, you could really use any shotgun you want, but my preferred one is the panic attack. It's it's a pretty good side grade. It sort of changes the way pellets work. I don't know. And I think, I don't know. It sort of changes the way the shotgun works. So you'll have to play with it, but sometimes it can do more damage on average. But I don't know. I think Uncle Dane's made a video on that, so maybe go watch that if you don't know that much about the panic attack. Although you could really honestly use any shotgun you want. I guess the only other one is the reserve shooter, which can be pretty good for soldier duels, although it's a bit evil because it does mini crits when they jump. For melee alternatives, you could use the escape plan's cousin, the equalizer. This does more damage as you, or this allows you to do more damage as you take more damage. So if you're at, I don't know what the cutoff is. I think it's like 10 health. You do, I think like 112 per swing. It doesn't really go over any like kill thresholds, but you know, if you are at 10 health and you hit them with a rocket, well, they're almost guaranteed to, like, light classes are pretty much guaranteed to be one shot then. So yeah, I don't know. It's not the best melee, but it's, I don't know, it's sort of a fun thing to mess around with. Because usually, you know, when you take damage, people expect you to sort of back off, and, you know, you can sort of pull this thing out and surprise them. Although, a warning about it is that it actually does less damage when you're at full health, I think. It's like 40 instead of 65. I'm not going to check that, but I'm pretty sure it does less, which is stupid because it doesn't say that in the stat line. It doesn't say there's a damage decrease. That does it for the alternatives for the DM build. Honestly, you can use whatever build you want with the airstrike. I just thought these were some that sort of complement its strengths more, but I don't know. If there's anything you think I missed, let me know what your favorite build for it is in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this sort of different style of video. I'm going to be trying a few new things in the weeks to come. There'll still be the weekly build video, but I wanted to try a few things while I still had some spare time. So yeah, look forward to those. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you got anything to tell me, let me know in the comments, and as always, have a good day. Bye.